Hello, IDS 105 students, and welcome to this quick focus video that's going to show you how to access your template that you will utilize throughout the term to submit your project drafts in your IDS 105 class. So there's a couple of ways that you can actually find your different assignments. One of them is under course menu. If you click on assignments, it will pull up any of the assignments that you have, whether they're journals, project drafts, or even your final project. For the purpose of this quick video, I want to focus in on the template that you will be using for your project drafts. So you can easily just click on one of these. When it says project draft, you will see where it'll have the assignment listed, and you'll see this guidelines and rubric. When you do that, it'll pull up an overview of the assignment. So here's an overview of the project. So for this actual assignment, you're going to be exploring key concepts throughout the term from week to week based off of different things that you are reviewing. So it's really important to pay attention from week to week because you are utilizing the same template when you have any project drafts that are due. You want to pay attention to which questions you should be answering for which week. For this very first one, in the directions, you will see that you want to actually pick a scenario. So you're going to pick a scenario that you're going to focus in on week 2, and you're going to stick with it, that scenario, from week to week as you work on your project drafts. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is pick a scenario. And then the second thing that you will do later in a module, actually not until module 5, is you're going to pick a conflict that's part of that scenario that you chose. But for this week, you are only picking a scenario. And again, you're going to utilize the same template from week to week when you turn in those project drafts. So I wanted to show you that you'll see the directions are here. There's a quick look at some of the scenarios. But as you scroll down, you will notice that there's this project template. Okay, when you click on that, it is going to open this document. So you will notice it says IDS 105 Project Template Cultural Awareness Guidebook. So this is the actual document you'll be filling out from week to week when you have a project draft due. So once you open it up, you want to click on Enable Editing if that pops up for you. And what I wanted to point out is you want to pay attention to what you should be answering from week to week. So for example, for Module 2, you are answering the questions here in Part 1. So every question you answer, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will answer them based off of your own personal and life experiences and also the scenario that you are going to choose, okay? So let's take a look at how we find those scenarios. So again, when you're back in your classroom space, after what to submit, you're going to see this supporting materials. Now remember I said up here there's kind of a quick recap of what the scenarios look like, but you want to scroll down to supporting materials and click on scenario profiles. When you do that, it's going to open up this part of the module that'll give you more details and information about each scenario, okay? So scenario 1 is school. So you need to decide, do I want to pick this school scenario, okay? Scenario 2 is personal. Do you want to use a personal scenario all term? Here's the information about it. Scenario 3 is something at work. Here's the scenario of what that situation at work would be. Again, I know that there is conflicts listed underneath each one of them, but we're not focusing in on those. We will deal with those in a later module. Right now, week 2, you just want to use that template and you want to pick one of the scenarios that you want to focus in on. And then whatever scenario you pick, so for example, let's say that you chose scenario 2, this personal situation. When you answer your questions in module 2 on the template, you want to be answering them with your personal and life experiences in mind and that chosen scenario. Don't forget, you want to make sure you list your chosen scenario under here, okay? It's really important, that way your faculty knows what scenario that you have picked. The other thing I mentioned earlier was it's so important to pay attention to which module you're answering for which questions, because module 2 is right here, but as you get into your future modules, you will notice that they're not necessarily in order. So always double check the module and where you should be answering which questions. Again, you are going to use this template all term long. okay? So when you submit it, when you have your next project draft, you're going to open up the one that you submitted, make any changes maybe your faculty member had from the week before, and then you're going to answer the new set of questions using that same scenario and using this same template, okay? This is a great time to use the academic support writing services team. You can find them by clicking on academic support up here at the top. And when you do that, you can pull up the menu of all their services. Written feedback, if you click on try it now, it'll walk you through the steps of how to upload your project draft or even discussion assignments or other university related work. And you will get a second set of eyes on that work to give you some feedback for how you're doing. So in case you're a little bit nervous about writing academically for this very first project draft, please know that you have that support in your back pocket. The other thing I wanted to point out is you can also always find your assignments, journal assignments, or your template assignments underneath the module that they're assigned. So for example, in Module 2, when you click on Module 2, you'll see everything for Module 2. And as you scroll down, you'll see that project draft again. If you click on it, it's going to give you that same page where you click on guidelines and rubric, and it'll go through the overview. So this is just a quick video to show you how to find that project template, which it looks like this. Remember, you are going to pick a scenario, just focus in on the scenario for week 2, answer the questions that are required for only Module 2. You're going to submit that for this week. And then when you have another project draft due, you want to make sure that, again, you review the questions and the content and answer whatever questions are necessary for that module using your chosen scenario in mind. Again, you don't pick any conflicts until later in the modules. If you have questions, if you're stuck, don't hesitate to reach out. You got this. Have a wonderful week 2.